I was in high school when I decided that I would rather take on a trade than go scholastically in school higher. It wasn't until I really came here and had established my own business that I really started to blossom more. I had a vision in my mind to make this place look like an 1890s barbershop, where everybody was so well groomed and so well dressed. Everything was meticulous. It was an age of great splendor.
Well, I'll tell you, I quit school. I figured, well, I knew this fella. He had no education, and he was a barber. And I decided to go to barber school, just like that. I had nothing else I could have done. And this was run probably 1935, 1936. I was getting like $6 a week or whatever it was. We had about 9 or 10 barbers in that particular place. And we had also a fellow by the name Charlie Wagner. He was supposed to be one of the best and doing tattoo work.
Our business has been around for a long time. Barbering is one of, a very ancient profession. The early days, like 6,000 years ago in Egypt, those times, usually it was the priests and the high-ranking officials that had their own personal barbers. More recently, we've had the barber surgeons during the Middle Ages. That's when barbers took on the duties of bloodletting. They were dentists. That's where the modern barber pole came from, was from the barber surgeons. They used to have a pole that the patron would hang on to so that his veins would pop and they'd be able to get a nice vein there for some good bloodletting. And they would drain the blood into a basin. After they used the bandages to stop the flow of blood, they would take the bandages and hang them from the pole, and the bandages would be swirled around in the breeze and get wrapped around the pole. So you would have some blood-stained bandages and some clean ones, and therefore you get the red and white striped barber pole.
I went in the Army, and I just cut hair for fellas and charged them 25 cents. I always had money. But then when I came out, I worked for this barber for maybe a few months or so, and I opened up my own shop. And Paul, he was working with us. I took him in as a partner, and there we are. We're still working together. It's over 20-some years ago.
It's okay? Yeah, come on, let's go.
Come on, Matthew.
I'm going to comb you out and then you go home. It's almost finished. Come on.
Come
Let's
on,
go there.
Come on. Matthew.
Today's Matthew's first time to have his haircut from a barber. I'm hoping he would behave today.
Yes, ma'am. No, that's baby Jesus, Matthew. Sit down.
He understands already when I tell him things, but it's still hard to really have him sit still, so...
Give you more lollipops. Okay.
Last time they be okay, they're quiet. Last time, along with the mother, father, home, the kids, they're okay. But you just, when, nothing.
Paul, thank you. Keep it. I think I shorted you last.
Thank you. That's all right.
Take care, guys.
That's it. Take care. Thank you. Thank you.
In my days, it wasn't like today, where you got ponytail, you got this, you got that, hair down the shoulders and all that. It was strictly what they call a regular haircut. Machine on the sides and back, and that's how it was.
Usually when hair is short, styles are short, barbering has done very well. And that was always the case until the 60s. Men started growing their hair. It became fashionable to wear their hair longer. That's when a lot of shops had trouble surviving. A good probably 2,500 shops, not just barbers, but shops, closed in the state of Massachusetts alone during those years.
What they call the Beatles came here. They had long hair, and everybody wanted to do the same. So it wasn't just the youngster that didn't get a haircut. Their parents trying to keep up with the youngster. Why, I don't know. They weren't getting a haircut.
Living at home with my father at that time and my family, I didn't have to pay anything, so I could live on what I made. A lot of us didn't survive. I happened to be one that did.
We had 8 barber shops one time here, okay? And right after the war, next thing you know, when they started growing those long hair and everything, they went out. It wasn't just say, well, you're a bad barber or something, and you losing business, but it was everybody. Now it's just, like I say, it's changed. It's changed for us, you know.
You know, sometimes when I need a little time to rest, believe it or not, if I come in here and I see a couple of people waiting in a chair, I know I can sit down, I can read the paper, and it's a time to get away from what's out on the street.
Yeah, that's 46.
Yeah. I just come here.
Call my imagination.
I think guys that are looking for a place where they can go and relax, and they find that they might get that in the barber shop, where there's more of a male atmosphere, if you will, and they feel like they don't have to have their guard up as much.
That's what you guys should do. Take pictures of the old theaters that are left.
Oh, we get a lot of customers that have problems, and they discuss it. They either have a problem with their wives or whatever, and they want to get it out of their system. They tell us about it.
And so, yes, you are a psychoanalyst. You are a psychiatrist, because they bring problems to you and they look for advice because they know that that's going to stop right in that chair.
I guess you probably know. You probably keep overall. You probably keep better track than anyone but my family's seen it all, right?
Yeah.
I was married for a few months and had a bad situation there. Kind of got caught into a bad situation. John's always there to help coach you through. And this has been a tough year. A lot of people in my family have passed away. But we've been there through thick and thin, I guess.
People visit their barber during very key emotional times during their life. Like there's a very first haircut as a child. That's a very emotional time. And you're there in the barber's chair. And then we get haircuts when we get married. We get haircuts when we get divorced. We get haircuts when we go to court. We get haircuts for funerals, you know. So we get haircuts at all different emotional times, whether they're, good or bad, troubled times or happy times. Where do people find themselves when they're going through these emotions? They find themselves sitting down in the barber's chair.
I don't know, my girlfriend moved in down the street, so I always walk our dog past the barber shop. I look in, the place looks like a really classy joint. I want to get my hair cut, so.
There's some kind of a peacefulness here that I don't know how to describe, that they feel that and they enjoy that. Being able to take the shop from what it was when I received it in '78 to the point that I brought it now is something that not everybody receives in life. It's a dream. I mean, it's like you changing this place into a modern place, back into what it should have looked like back in the 1890s. So what I did was I built these 3 cases. The detail is all from lumber companies. the stained glass windows I made, and it's a great satisfaction. And it takes a long time, and it takes a lot of love to do that. And it's a kind of a relationship with the barber where you go to the same barber all the time. And it's just a friendship that develops from that. And it's unique.
What makes me keep coming back here is the fellowship. I like to think of it as fellowship, and I just like the small shop. It's like family when you come in here because you know a lot of the people that are here.
I try and give them the best and not be too smart with them. And I got one customer here. It's over 40-some years I've been cutting his hair. You know, so what can I say?
There's a lot of people that come in here, and it's kind of mind-boggling to think how many haircuts these two fellows have given out over the years. And I've been coming here for over 25 years. Easy with the mustache. That's my pride and joy.
Don't worry, I know. I just to make a believe, that's all. So I did that.
Up in Monroe, the guy was open 5:30 in the morning, so he satisfied his customers before they go to the city. Now I heard the other day he got a stroke, so, you know. Then in Washingtonville, I have a customer, I've been cutting his hair for many years. He told me the barber up there just died. Well, he was the only barber up there.
These elderly men here who are excellent, you know, it's a dying species.
That's right. Everybody wants to be a hairstylist. They go to school. I don't think there's that many schools. They come out, they're hairstylists, but they can't still even cut hair. I mean, I've seen that.
So the hairdressers took up where the barbers left off, and so it's a different atmosphere. You know, it's disco music and loud noise and a lot of people waving in a shop at the same time. And it's very, very different than it was then. It's a lost art.
You want an interesting story? We were down in Virginia a month or so ago. My daughter lives down there. And we went for the weekend. Saturday, my son-in-law and my grandson, and they took my wife, and they went to get their haircuts in Kmart. While I was waiting for them in Kmart, I went over to the gun department and looked at some guns they had there. And that's true, there's guns. So they give haircuts and guns.
The things that keep you going back to your barber or anyone going back to their hairstylist is the cut that they get and the person whose chair they're sitting in. You like the way he cuts your hair, you like the conversation you have with him, and it's a very personal service.
Is he one of the cardiac surgeons? Or?
Yeah, he's a cardiac anesthesiologist. So. Very nice person. And Dr. Tom was in too on Saturday.
You bring your kids to the barber shop, or you remember when your parents brought you to the shop. And that's an age-old tradition that goes on from generation to generation that keeps getting passed on.
The average person, to them, is just a barber shop. But how many looked at it as going back in history or what the barber did in history? How many people do you think do that? I feel lucky because I've been through a lot, and I feel that it wasn't easy.
I look forward to coming here every single day that I come here. So I found my niche. Working in a job that you really love what you do. I mean, what more can a man ask for?
I've cut hair on the desert, I cut hair on the Bolt, I cut hair in Germany, France, all those places, which has been an experience. To me, it's been an experience, like I said before. But I'm thinking about calling it quits. You know, it's been a long time, my friend. You know, it's a long time I've been cutting hair and stuff like that, and I look forward to when I'm off. That's the reason. That's, I mean, I'm being honest about it. I'm being honest about it. I've been lucky. Yeah.